already scape shifted. All right, Lotus Elementals here. So this is an interesting take on elementals. I'm not sure how I feel about this. In my experience, the elementals, like we've talked about, mid-range decks kind of struggling in this format, and I think there's a good chance that this deck ends up being a little bit too grindy overall and not quite aggressive enough. So Chandra with Risen Reef is all right. We've got some good cheap removal to flashback. One thing that's worth noting is that you can't flash this back with Chandra because the combined converted mana cost of this is only 5. Yeah, one kind of cute thing this deck is doing that I'm not sure if it's good is that Omnath, there's only one copy and they're playing these Finale of Devastation instead to kind of max on Risen Reef. And I'm not sure if Risen Reef being the biggest thing our deck is doing is kind of powerful enough in this format. Like I said, I feel like the Scape Shift decks and other things like that kind of go over the top of what this deck is doing. But let's go ahead and dive into some games and see how it feels. Yeah, I think Bloodsun's great in this format. I think the Scape Shift decks, I think it's good against the Scape Shift decks. That's a reasonable place to be. The fact that it draws a card against those decks is a big deal as well. If you're ever interested in what my suggestions for decks look like, all the standard decks that aren't in the meme category on my website, I think are all very reasonable choices for laddering with. This is why Lotus Field's super awkward, right? Like this is a 2-lander that I kind of don't want to keep. I think I'm going to risk it. We're on the draw, just like any other land makes this reasonable for us. But if I don't draw a second land, or a third land, technically this is basically a 1-lander, which is awkward. This is a card that's pretty tough for us to deal with, especially when we're about to miss a land drop here, basically. If I play this, I have to sacrifice it and the Stomping Ground. Well, it feels a card that's awkward. It's one of those cards where it feels like the payoff from it working doesn't offset the number of situations like this where it just, like, doesn't work. So, like, the risk is high and the payoff is kind of mediocre. They seem to be flooding, though, perhaps. Yeah, might as well deal 4 with the shock. They're not playing anything else out. Feels pretty dead, man. Yeah, Lotus Field also intercept. I mean, the one day we played a couple of decks off the ladder was just because we had played against just mono, Esper, and Nexus, and I was trying to find other matchups. I don't really care about my ladder rank. We didn't get to 38 or 50 or whatever we got to today because we were tryharding. We just, like, happened to win a bunch of games in a row. I couldn't give two shits about the ladder rank. I don't think Flame Sweep is good enough in this matchup. So many of their things just, like, get out of range on it. Sword and stuff gets things up out of range, too. We need that number, right? I gotta let everybody know how great we are and post our number in our stream title. Yeah, that was last season. 31. And I mostly just stopped accepting decks that aren't reasonable, that I don't think are reasonably competitive. And like if we play a deck and we play a few matches with it and it seems like a dumpster fire, instead of taking it off ladder, I just stop playing it. My family name is from the Netherlands at some point. Hoogland. Hoogland is Dutch, I believe. We've been in the US for several generations though. So I don't really have any connection to any sort of heritage like that. Living Twister is a pretty good brick wall against aggro. It's one of the cards that was pretty good in the other elemental decks that we've played. Only a fun of in here though. Right, let's us lightning strike the Legion Lieutenant here.
I'm happy as a hellion to start some fires.
I got you, Marty. I got you. Apologies.
On my feet.
Look, chap, that high mythic ranking. Easy come, easy go. Can we brainstorm together, chat? What are things that this deck could possibly doing that's meaningfully different than like the other variations of Temur elementals, right? Like it's got a little bit of a toolbox element to it, but is that toolbox element really worthwhile, right? Like paying a 2 mana premium for some of these creatures seems pretty slow. Like is playing awkward Lotus Fields worth having a 1-mana creature that turns into a 3/4 eventually, that also seems kind of slow for the format. There's a Field of the Dead in this deck. I definitely looked at the mana base at one point, but I don't remember that one being there. I put these decks together on Friday. It's been a long why is that there's no ramp in this deck other than Risen Reef? Marty, thank you for the pile of sub-gifties. I appreciate it. Hope your Monday is finding you swell. How close are you to 1,000? You're so close to 1,000, Marty. Field of the Dead in our Sacrifice 2 lands deck. Oh, that's just good deck building. I would like you to play this. I'm a little scared. Is it actually infinite mana, or is it just a lot of finite mana? Hey, Rionin, thank you for the 3/4 year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think this deck wants Neoform to lean into the toolbox. I think this is a great example to talk about good deck building principles. So I think adding Neoform to this deck is really bad. And you shouldn't just, like, commit yourself to a bad theme and then put in a bunch of cards that are a slave to that bad theme. You should have meaningful reasons to want to add and take away cards to the deck, because you want to be identifying problems that the deck have and then solving them by making changes. And I feel like saying this deck wants Neoform because it's on theme is a great example of being a slave to a bad theme. The mana base in this deck also just, like, isn't going to get 7 lands for Field of the Dead super often. Oh, you can actually go infinite with by animating a land. Got it. We'll give Teferi the Cheeto fingers here. We're thinking about adding the red Cavalier into the red deck. Oh, in the Kaiklar deck. Yeah, that could maybe be okay. Alright, Risen Reef along with making Risen Reef tokens doesn't seem too terrible here. Ooh. We're gonna draw some cards next turn. And by that, I mean we might deck ourselves, but at least if we deck ourselves, we'll die doing what we love.
Trust me, you'll thank me later. Time for plan B. Let's skip to the good part.
good. We found a Lotus Field. That's excellent. Hey, look at that. We found a Lotus Field, and we still triggered our Field of the Dead, chat.
That's how it was meant to happen.
Alright, as you will. The old zero my Planeswalker, draw 6 cards, ramp a little bit. Not bad, JPG. Turns out, drawing a bunch of cards, still good against Esper. Did we just change decks? Yeah, we started this one, this is our second match with this one. Alright, I have a Fry. I have some Chandras. I'm supposed to trim these Lightning Strikes. I know that this card was fine there, but a lot of times they're going to be able to kill our thing in response, so I think I'm supposed to trim that. Yeah, there's a Kefnin in here as like a cute extra way at the top end to like finale for. Instead of just like playing a bunch of Omnath, which may or may not be good. Yeah, gifting Finale's kind of cool. Overall, the total number of hits from it are kind of low, though. It's a really high variance card in what we've got going on here. I'd be surprised if it's not just better as another Omnath. Or, like, another Cavalier at the top end to, like, search up in different situations. This deck, I feel like this deck's, like, trying to pull itself in too many directions is a big part of it. It's part of its issues, too. Like, it's got, like, this Temur Elemental core, but it's, like, trying to do 6 different things alongside that. And some of them, like Field of the Dead and Lotus Bloom, kind of directly conflict with each other. That's true. Chandra can recast Finale. Yeah, the Chandra plan and like some number of finales seem fine. Four's just a lot of finales. I'm gonna bottom that since I have a Lotus Field in my hand. This card, the replicate part of it, also doesn't really have a lot of good targets in this deck. It's like exactly Risen Reef, and if they kill the Risen Reef, it gets awkward. Lotus Field also is anti-synergy with Omnath, because if you have this in one of their lands, you can't cast Omnath. I guess you could technically counter-target activated or triggered ability, so you could use that to counter a Teferi's down tick. Oh wait, you can't respond to things when you're playing Hearthstone, so that doesn't work either. Whoopsie poopsie. The Lotus Field, we could stifle the Lotus Field activation. We could technically use it as a double ramp spell, huh? That's a legal play, sure. Lotus Field also is kind of awkward alongside Omnath, who wants us to get to 8 lands to start drawing cards. I honestly didn't think about that use. That seems so narrow. I just assumed the reason we wanted this card was to copy... Like, I can't, like, okay, so here's the other part of this, right? Like, if that's the reason this card is in here, what are we doing with the mana? I guess we're casting Finale for X's 10? But, like, it takes so much mana to get to 12, right? And we have with no other ramp? Like, that's incredibly slow still. Like, take this game, for instance, right? Like, I'm +2 lands. Like, what am I doing with the mana? When you're thinking about synergistic payoffs, you not only need to be thinking about, like, how much effort do you need to go through to make the payoff happen, but, like, is that effort proportional to the payoff that you're ultimately going to get at the end of all of the work?
My mind needs a rest.
All right, there's a reef. Don't fear the reefer, chat. All right. Okie doke. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, I mean, we're at 12 mana. We talked about 12 being a lot, but we're there, right? We've crossed the finish line. And this is why, again, I try to play games with things and try and get a better feel for them instead of just writing them off the bat. Wow, that animation is slick.
I'm Chandra, the immolation sensation. Aw, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
Getting a little sweaty over there? You want to get sweaty with Chandra, opponent? She wants to burn you up. It's just, in 22 short turns, you're gonna meet your match. They have an Elder spell here, so I assume we're about to see her die. Yeah, not just killing this turn seems loose. They keep mousing over graveyards. Do they have, like, a Command the Dread Horde? This seems incredibly bad to play here, right? I guess it puts 7 power into play. But, like, I'm gonna give them another emblem here, right?
That's it.
Like, alright. You're gonna take 2 a turn, dead in 6. I guess this is 7 power. Interesting. They might be able to race us here. Maybe I'm just supposed to have down-ticked my Chandra and killed the Omnath there. I don't know, that halves my clock. Yeah, no Crisis is another good observation, right? Like we have this Finale, but like that's super susceptible to a counterspell.
Sorry I'm late.
That being said, I have 12 mana even without this Druid, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, like, if I manage to draw a Finale here, we do have lethal. Yeah, I'm aware, Courier. Minus X is what I was talking about when I said we can kill something. Because it's the only way we can kill something. That's interesting, Marty. Gotta rename this thing. Weak root combo.
We need to move quickly.
Welcome to garbage time. Maybe. I mean, like I could rip a finale still, right?
You show remorse, I'll show restraint. Here we go.
Alright, finale doesn't give trample, so I'm gonna take this hit and drop to 5. And then if we draw finale, we can still kill them. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Just gonna go ahead and run it back. Maybe I'm supposed to bring in Disdainful Stroke because it counters Kaya's Wrath in addition to countering their bigger planeswalkers. Could see that being reasonable. So, let's stand up for a bit, shall we? Ooh. Okie doke. Late night. Hey, I am an old man, but 4 o'clock Central is hardly late night, okay? I'm not quite that old. We're gonna do at least blue-green Wake Root combo after this one, and maybe we'll get to green-black dredge. If we don't get to the green-black dredge deck today, it'll stay in the queue and likely be up tomorrow. Imagine if this Field of Dead made red mana. Yep. Please kill my Reclaimer. Please kill my Reclaimer. Please kill my Reclaimer. Rats. Ah, Arena. I guess I should restart the client here really quick. We've got huge tracks of lag.
Not to brag, but I'm totally the best part. Hey, these little guys are great.
Figured I would pop in and watch you play the Waker combo deck I've been collaborating on. Hopefully we get to do the thing. Thanks for the 7 months, Clamster. I appreciate it. As someone else till in my 20s is 6 or 7 when it starts counting as late. It starts counting as your late 20s whenever you feel like it's late.
I brought company.
I started telling Christy she was almost 30 when she turned 26, just because, you know, I wanted to poke at her. Rude. Rude. Have a good one, Dream. I'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully. "24 kids, it's late when I say it's late." Yeah. Yeah, my children go by the sun. I like winter more than summer because my children thinks it gets late earlier. Because they have no concept of time other than what the sun currently looks like.
Hey, these little guys are great.
Well, that is a Risen Reef. And then Chandra lets it draw some cards too, so that's sweet. I live in Texas, 6 a.m. Daddy, the sun's up, so I'm up. It was my day off. Yep. What if instead I shocked her, and then next turn I finale'd for a Risen Reef, and then made 2 elementals and drew some cards? This is kind of a neat portion of this deck. I feel like the Lotus Bloom aspect of this deck is probably not good, but I feel like the Finale of Devastation plus Chandra seems like, yeah, the Lotus part of this deck feels weird and forced, but this aspect of this deck seems really sweet, especially considering Chandra can flash back the Finale next turn and get us another Reef.
You are a mighty warrior. I concede.
And yeah, we drew another Reef. Don't fear the Reefer, chat. So good. Oh, that's delicious. There's an Elvish Reclaimer that's in our deck for some reason, but this, I'm into what this part of the deck is doing. This part of the deck seems great.
This isn't a fight you can win.
This isn't a fight you can win. That's exactly what I was thinking, Teferi. You should tell your player that. Yeah, let's take a peek at this. We're gonna play 1 or 2 more matches with this, but I'm just gonna rename this to Temur Elementals, and we're gonna cut the Chandra and Reef is just Splitter Twin. We're gonna cut some of the cute things out of this deck. I'm gonna cut the one of that. This Elvish Reclaimer seems like some hot nonsense. The Lotus Field seems silly. I get to put a couple more tapped lands in here, so that sounds good. Temple of Epiphany, Temple of Mystery. Cut Blue Cavalier. I think Blue Cavalier is probably fine. I've liked that card before. The one Random Field of the Dead. How many differently named lands do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12 differently named lands. I could probably even get away with, like, cutting, like, a breeding pool for a basic island. I think the one Field of the Dead is probably fine as a colorless utility land. We're gonna trigger it in a lot of games. A couple more. Living Twister sounds fine. You vote for a green Cav? Yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah, some more Omnath sounds good. Just like play the good Temur elemental cards basically. Can we mastery tree Omnath? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty far off of that one. And I can double check here in a second. Yeah, now we're just like, we're closer to Temur Elementals, but with Replicate and Finale of Devastations, and like Replicate with Cavalier of Thorns seems fine. Honestly, is Thorns is probably just better than Gale's, right? Because like it helps us ramp into a big finale at the end too. Here's my sub. I put the deck I wanted to resub for into the form. Perfect, Maris. I appreciate it. Like this seems fine, because like replicating Cavalier of Thorns is like also something that's pretty okay to be doing a lot of the time. This seems reasonable. Yeah, the reach on this card is really good. Let's, I'm not going to do a full shill. I'm just going to play the Hoaglandia commercial. I restart the client really quick because it's lagging a lot.
Don't make your life garbage time. Join us in Hoaglandia today by subscribing to Jeff Hoagland with Twitch Prime today.
Let's rename this to Finale Elementals. That's what it's doing that's unique, right? Is it's playing Finale of Devastation. And this is why I like playing a lot of different, I like actually playing games with things before we just write off ideas, right? Because like when we went into this league, it felt like this deck was going in a lot of different directions that were different than the other Team Elemental decks that we've played. And playing a few games with a couple of them let us kind of focus in on which parts of the deck felt good and which parts felt unnecessary. And now we've cut part of the things that it was doing that felt unnecessary and seeing if what we're left with could just be reasonable. Quasi-duplicate. The blue might be hard-ish to cast consistently. Something to consider, though, for sure. Easy mulligan here on the one-lander. Oh, Magic really just blows sometimes, you know that? Just really a truly terrible game sometimes. There's 25 lands in this deck. We'll play a basic mountain, concede, and then sideboard. Alright, so you're saying there's a chance. That is true, Marty. One of the upsides of the Yarok field deck is it just has so many keepable hands, right? It's like the chance of getting like lands and spells is like super reasonable. If we hit a green source, this is what you get for not saving up your cumulative range. I need to spread it out a little bit better, huh? For subs who are watching, I've been bad about updating this today. I'm gonna post. I missed posting 2 of the 4 standard decks from today in the deck tab on Discord. I did mute myself on purpose. I was typing in the Discord. Just like letting people know that I've been bad about posting there. Alright, I guess we're playing a game. Give him the old Cheeto fingers. If they play Nissa, we can kill Nissa with a land draw. Alright, Cheeto Fingers gets to finish Teferi off, so that's nice.
Really should have seen that coming.
We'd love to hit Risen Reef into draw land, play it untapped, replicate the Risen Reef here. They could be a Scape Shift deck. I think the Prison Realm is generally indicative of Scape Shift in this current format. No guarantee on that, though, obviously. It's a good example of why, like, 1 Field of the Dead is in our deck, like we've just got. We've got 7 lands here, which is great. Or 6 lands here that are all differently named, so if we find that, it's going to start triggering. Can you stifle field? You can stifle a single field activation, but if they put like 60 of them on the stack, you can't stifle all of them. Summary Dismissal would be a sweet way to interact with the Scape Shift deck, yeah. Sure. That's true. It does not work if they had Teferi. Like most things, Teferi says it doesn't work. That gets you all hot and bothered, Twitch chat? Me casting Stone Rain. I know that's how you like it, Twitch chat. You like it when the stones rain. Let us talk of peace. Get out of here. Ain't nobody got time for your peace talks. Oh, I'm dumb. No, I did 1 to her, right? Yeah. Or one short on killing her, unfortunately. The last Cheeto Finger did 1 up here, right? Yeah. So they have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana here, potentially. Oh, that's super true. We could totally stifle this activation. Oh, jeez. I think they were going after... I think they were going after a mass manipulation here, too, because they floated triple blue. They could just have a Hydra here. This could just be a 5/5 Hydra. Yeah, feels dead, man. Nissa does still get the counter there. So for people not familiar with that interaction, unless it's like Chandra that says put a loyalty on your Planeswalker as part of the resolution, generally speaking, Planeswalker pluses, the plus is part of activating the Planeswalker. So putting the Planeswalker ability on the stack adds the counter to it. I probably want Brontodon here, huh? This probably isn't super useful because they have like Prison Realms and stuff. Oh, that's true. If I stifle her first activation, I can then Lightning Strike plus Shock to kill the Nissa. Yeah, that's probably better. I should have stifled on the first activation. That's a good call. Yeah, no problem. Rules questions are always welcome here. If you're ever offline and you want some folks and you're wondering how a rules interaction works, if you're a sub here, you can pop on into the subs Discord. We have a judge role in that Discord where you can tag Magic judges who are also subs who said they would love to answer questions on occasion. So you can use the Magic General or whatever specific format that you have there. Maybe we might change the role to people who were formerly known as judges. We'll see. We'll see how this whole judge thing gets sorted out. Am I mulliganing this? The hand just doesn't really do anything, right? It's got no acceleration with this Cavalier of Thorns. It's got no Risen Reef. Double Thrashing Brontodon's a little awkward. I'm gonna mulligan this and like get a no-lander, but yeah, this is fine. This is better than that. That's 7, I think. Do you want Flame Sweep in case they're Scape Shift? I think I'm hedging on them not being Scape Shift with the Nissas. I don't think, I at least haven't seen Scape Shift variations that are playing Nissa. So I think Flame Sweep's a little narrow. Usually Nissa's in like the payoff slot. Is he of this Land War Elves, the old Cheeto fingers here? Yeah, I want to stop them from turn 3 Nissa-ing me. I kind of want a Risen Reef before this, but I think it's important to keep them off turn 3 Nissa. Honestly, thank you for the amazing content every day. I start my morning work weeks with you, and love that you do all formats. In my new role, my company has worked for, I actually get to get on and listen now rather than keeping you on mute. Well, good to have you here, Kind Fiend. Hope your Monday is treating you well. See what we draw for the turn. We are going to have Reef into Replicate Reef into Chandra, which is pretty awesome. Get some good mana development going that way. Yeah, I'd love a land next turn. The fact that they attacked with the Paradise Druid kind of tells me they have plenty of mana in their hand. Although, it kind of feels to me like they're less likely to have a Nissa this turn if they were willing to risk the Paradise Druid. Really, they just risked the Paradise Druid for like no... That's weird.
The land fights for us.
It's so weird to me that they attacked with this last turn and like got 2 points of damage in and risked not being able to attack with Nissa this turn. Where are my lands, chat? I need tracts of land. Good golly. Alright, don't fear the Reefer, chat. Don't fear the Reefer. So we've got 8 mana right now. Am I about to be manipulated? We get mass manipped and they take all of our Risen Reefs. This game is probably done. This is 8, 9, 10, so they can create this for 8 here. But that still seems okay for us, right? Graces for 9. Here, personal mana flares are good. Yeah, probably. Only did it for 8, sure. Only doing it for 8 is good for us because it means that we don't die. That means that Breeding Pool's not lethal or Anissa Land's not lethal on its own. So how many cards do I want to draw next turn and how do I want to draw them is a question I have to ask myself. So I think I want to Chandra make 2 tokens and then Omnath make 2 tokens. Or that Omnath like grabs Cheeto Finger or something. And like, I think we're hoping Chandra and then Omnath kills Nissa. Is that true? No, she's at 7, right? If we hit enough lands, a Finale next turn could potentially be lethal. Oh, this is an elemental too. Yeah, you're super, right? All right, I think we might be doing it. I'm not used to my mana dork being a thing. Are we doing it? It feels like we might be doing it. I have to discard 3 cards because we're incredibly unlucky. Yeah, now we have Stroke. We have Stroke, counter triggered ability, and Aether Gust up. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 13 mana next turn. Yeah, we can Finale for 10 next turn. That was a tight game. Yeah, the whole Chandra make a bunch of Risen Reef access is really nice. The Lotus Field part of this deck felt like some hot nonsense. I'm glad we got rid of that, but like, the rest of this feels super reasonable. They're still dead, right? No, I need a land. I need a land. Because I only have 11 lands, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need to draw an untapped land here. Papi! Papi! Okie dokie. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Ha ha! Woohoo! That was great. I don't know if this deck is good, but that was great. Excellent. Yeah, time wipe, untap, attack you for 40. That's all I got. Yeah, 2 elementals, a zombie, and then the Cavalier. And remember, for people, we haven't done it yet, but Chandra's -2 can recast Finale from your graveyard for any amount of X. Which is pretty good. Yeah, you can cast, that's part of the synergy in the deck. So you can cast Finale from your bin for any X. Look, no numbers. I'll have subbed for 3.5 years when Teferi rotates. It's a sad way to think about it. Thank you for the 27 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I want to mulligan this. It just doesn't really do anything, right? It's a little slow. All right, I'll keep Double Reef. We do not need Field of the Dead anytime soon. Hey, Willem. Thanks for the 22 months of Prime support. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Looking for a 2-drop accelerant here. Yeah, it's probably good in the long term. If I hit an accelerant with the Risen Reef, I can play a second Reef plus hold up Disdainful Stroke on 3. On 4. That being said, they're about to play a 3-mana Teferi and make me regret my life choices, but that's just kind of how the standard format works. It's a little late. I guess they can still Nissa me next turn, huh? If I get Nissa, I'm gonna be a little bit sad. Maybe I'm just supposed to go tapped land, hold up Stroke there. Never not. Alright, that's not a terrible hit. So I get to do that, do this. This triggers. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that, right? So,
you've got mail.
You guys got mail. Thank you, honey.
How many orders are we supposed to have?
I think 3.
Did one... Which ones were going to the wrong place?
Not these ones. Okay. Yeah, there's a different order that I accidentally sent to the old
house.
Can
I be a guest star?
Yeah, guest star. Okay, so what we're gonna do is...
Can you take these off so we can... So I can guest star with you?
So you can guest star with me? So, I put a stop on their thing here. So what we're gonna do is... Once they're...
This one has really pretty colors.
It does have really pretty colors. Isn't it great in borderless?
Ooh, it's animated?
Yeah, all the borderless cards are animated.
Pretty.
So, we wait for them to draw for the turn, then still inside their draw step, we Aether Gust this Nissa. This goes kind of sideways on us if they have a second Nissa or a counterspell. But if they don't have either of those things, this buys us a reprieve from Nissa for the turn. They bottomed her, so I'm expecting them to play a second copy here. But basically, by doing it inside their draw step after they've drawn, they don't get to activate the Nissa for the turn, and they won't be able to recast her until next turn if they put it back on top.
I bet chat could hear you at this volume, too.
That doesn't work for me. Don't worry. The new office will have soundproofing, so you won't hear me while I work. Take another hit for 3 here. Huh. Weird. What do they have? Manipulation here? They've got 6. They're just gonna, like, manipulate my Risen Reef. Yeah, maybe, hopefully they just misclicked. Now, there's the other so weird. Why didn't they attack with this?
Protect the virtue of this world.
No, he's been loud his entire life.
We could hear him at that volume, but it doesn't keep his energy up. That's true. It's all about the big energy. The big voice energy, honey. So, we've got 5 here. If I play this out and make 2 1/1s.
Is your whole deck borderless animated cards?
Almost.
No, it's not.
Yeah, some of them are not. Yeah.
I like how when you move it, it moves.
So if I do this and then activate her, this makes this get up to 4/4. So I don't want to play the Reef first, but it would let me draw more cards that way. But this way lets me hold up Disdainful Stroke. Because now I'm casting this using the 2 mana off of the Leafkin. So, like, I get less triggers this turn, but it lets me hold up Stroke. And now I have to decide, do I want to ramp with this and shock this in, or draw this and then play it and not take 2?
Not take 2.
I probably actually don't want to take the 2 because,
Because your wife said it.
Because my wife said it, yeah. So taking 2 puts us to a number that's divisible by 3, which means these kill us slightly quicker. It might also just be right to play the Paradise Druid here to establish my mana better for the following turn. If we get smacked for 9 this turn, that hurts a little bit. Hopefully Chandra is just like a reasonable distraction here.
Are you dominant in our household, honey?
No. Ask the children. They'll tell you. It was funny. We were getting something at the snack place, and Mike told Declan to do something, and Declan looked at Mike and goes, "You're not the boss. My mom's the boss."
And I wasn't even there.
So I'm going to go ahead and throw away a Reef here on this block because it keeps Chandra alive. And I would like Chandra to be able to make 2 more elementals next turn to trigger my Risen Reefs a whole bunch.
I'm guessing the answer is too much.
How much those borderless cards cost?
Is the answer too much?
I don't pay for any of them. Chat enables my borderless addiction, okay? She has access to my spreadsheet. She knows how much money has been put in this application this year. Really glad we left up Disdainful Stroke for this. Goodbye. Alright, so how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 5, not quite. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9. So not quite enough to big finale yet. So let's go ahead and Reef.
I'm kind of bored of being your co-star, so I'm gonna leave.
Okay, I love you anyways. I'm bored of being your co-star, so I'm gonna leave. See the kind of support I get, chat? Alright, Risen Reef. The good news is we're gonna ramp a lot here.
Don't worry. I brought plenty.
I'm gonna decline this because I would like to play this one untapped. I'm gonna bottom the Lightning Strike, so I'd like to find another land. She has access to my spreadsheets, has me rolling. Yeah, anybody remember when we were kind of stuck on lands? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Alright, so we need to not die this turn. And then we get to put finale together. We get to put a big finale together next turn. So how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 mana. Dead to Deputy. We are dead to Deputy the way we've played. We haven't seen a Deputy out of this player yet, right? Devastation really should give Trample. You're not wrong. We do not have a pig with which to give Trample. That being said, I can cast a couple of creatures here. And like, Finale gives them haste. It gives them the very green ability haste. It does not, however, give trample. Yeah, you can find all the deck lists on my website. You can also find past decks that we've played before on my YouTube channel. Even manipulation here doesn't save them, right? They need another Finale. Krasis, they're still dead to our Finale. Alright, so you're dead. Mass Manip wins if they take Chandra. That's not true, right?
We can do this together.
I have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 mana. So I can play Leafkin Druid. I can do this for X is 10. It's a darn shame. It's a darn shame the trample's already happened. Oh yeah, I can get Omnath and shoot a blocker too if we need it. That's true. That's fine. Not needed. I have 2 blockers. We have any 2 attackers are lethal. Fog costs 2 mana in this format. Oh, sweet. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, so I feel like while the first build of this deck we played, thanks, Let It Rip, I appreciate it. While the first build of this deck we played was rather unfocused, I think the concept of like playing basically oops all Risen Reefs along with Finale of Devastation enabling more copies of Reef as well as this big go over the top play in these mid-range matchups seems pretty reasonable. We've got a lot of cheap disruption down here to keep the aggro decks off our back along with Living Twister and like other blockers, so I don't know. This seems like a neat take on the Temur Elementals archetype. Definitely a lot of different iterations of this archetype running around out there, and this one seemed fine at the end of it. Yeah, the random stifle effect is also pretty good too. All right, we're gonna roll on into some green-blue Wake Root Elemental combo up next.